How's it going, Sweet Stingers family? Alright, well today we are going to show you guys how we make our emergency feeding for the winter. Now, a lot of people are used to the mountain camp style. So it's basically, we have a nuke box right here, 5-frame nuke box. It's basically taking a shim a couple inches, 3 inches or so high, putting it on top of there, taking newspaper or just some notebook paper and placing it on top of the frames. And then you basically take your bag of sugar, you pour it in top of here, you put your hive lid on, and that's it. The condensation from the hive will be attracted to the sugar. The sugar will draw it in, it will harden up, and that's one way of feeding. The reason we don't do the mountain camp is because it's an extra piece of equipment, and when you start getting into a lot more hives, then the amount of equipment starts going up. So what we started doing a few years back is make these frame feeders right here. As you can see, there's different varieties that we use. This one right here, there's a little bee on here. These are just sugar right here, nothing more than sugar. This one right here is a foundationless frame. We drill holes all along the side, put some toothpicks in. These are set up, ready to use. We also make pollen frames. This is basically a giant pollen patty. On the pollen patties we use rubber bands to secure it. They do have a tendency not to harden as hard as the sugar, so they can be a little bit more brittle and they can fall out. And for people that don't use, or that use like foundations and plastic frames, you can make a sugar frame on a plastic frame or wood foundation. Now we drill these holes into it. As you can see, this girl is having a snack. These holes right here, the reason we do this is so that the bees can easily access the other side. In our foundationless frames, we're mainly in foundationless frames, they will actually leave these natural holes along the bottom, usually in the corners, sometimes up at the top. So we drill these, that way they can come in and out. This is just an option for that. And then this frame is just one that hasn't set up all the way, and we are going to show you how we make that. Alright, so what you will need is a large mixing bowl. You will need about 1.5 cups to 2 cups of water. We use warm water. You'll need about a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. We put a little bit of salt and 7 to 8 pounds of sugar. So this is how we do it. We don't really measure anything here. We just kind of eyeball everything. So what we will do is we need a back for our frame. So we take a piece of cardboard. We lay our frame on here. Now, like I said, you can use frames that don't have any wire in it or anything, such as this, just a foundationless frame. Drill holes in it and then use some toothpicks to insert in these holes. That way it will help hold the sugar on, so it'll be like this one. But we're going to use one that we have wired up already. Alright, so what we will do is flip this over and you will staple this down to the frame. Alright, just like that. That way it gives it back to it. You will take your sugar. Move this out. Take your sugar, open it up, pour approximately 4 pounds. If you use the smaller bags, you can do 2 of those little bags. I think they're about 4 pounds each, and they will make it a pretty good frame. You can almost get the whole thing in there. You will take a little bit of salt if you choose to use it. We add a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar to the water. Stir it up, and then you will just add a little bit of water in here, maybe half a cup or so for the first batch. Get my spoon. And you will mix it up. Now you want this moist, but you do not want it real wet. You want it kind of like wet sand, probably. That way it just kind of clumps, but not to where you can really build stuff. It'll take approximately, depending on your area, how moist everything is, it can harden up overnight or a couple of days. So we make these up ahead of time. That way when we need them for our colonies, we have them ready to go. So you just mix it all up. Nice. And now if you want to do a pollen frame, add pollen into it, pollen substitute or your real pollen that you've collected and kept, then you would add it in right now, and just however much you feel comfortable. We do, maybe a cup or so of pollen in our pollen frames, and you will want to be careful when you do those, because the girls will take off, start rearing brood, and so you just want to make sure that you are ready for that brood rearing. So if you're still in a lot of winter left, you don't want to put a whole bunch of pollen into the hive. Now the reason we do this frames like these is for a couple reasons. Like I said, one thing, just keeping equipment down, not having a whole bunch of equipment all over the place, because we only have limited amount of storage. And also this helps me get food directly next to my cluster, so I can open the hive, I can see where they're at, I can pull a frame of food that they've already ate that's empty, and I can add this frame right on the outside of the cluster. That way they have food directly next to them and stuff. So it has worked very well for us over the years, and this is how we continue to do it. A little bit more sugar, a little bit of salt, a little bit of water. Stir up. And dump into the frame. And back it all down. So using a frame, when the springtime comes on, the girls will already have this cleared out. They will have it ate, and they will start building their comb on it. And so then you already have a frame for that to go in. And you don't have to worry about having a little bit of extra room for those new spring bees to start doing their job and building comb out. So you want to just pack it in here as tight as you can get it. Give it a couple whacks with the spoon. And let it harden up. Leave it flat on the ground for a couple days, like I said, and you will have a nice sugar frame, candy frame to put right next to your cluster. It will be hardened, and like I said, you just slide it into the frame or into your hive box. You take out, the cluster's right here in the middle. I say you will take out a frame that's empty, set it aside, and if they need food on them, you just set this frame directly next to the cluster, put your lid on, and they are good to go. So that is one way to do feeding. This is how we do emergency feeding if we need to. If our hives get light over winter, if it's a warm winter, they're going to blow through their food stores, and we just want to make sure that they have enough food and they don't starve out. So it's an easy, simple thing to do during the winter to make sure that you can get food to your colonies. Thanks for watching. If you guys enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up. Let us know how we did in the comments. And you guys have a great day. Happy beekeeping. See ya.